money in and of itself is not evil. In fact, if you use money in the right way, and when I say the right way, it's my moral bias, right? I believe we should create value and give back where we can. Money can be an excellent tool to do that. Say you care about the environment, you can use your money to put, a charity together to plant trees, or, create water systems and wells in Africa, or schools, or give children shoes. Money can help get you to that point. And but money can also get you to the point on the other side of the spectrum where, because people are treating you differently, because everything's easier now and you're disconnected from everyday struggles, it can get you to a point on the other side of the spectrum where, okay, you're taking yourself way too seriously, man. Step back a little bit. You are not powerful. Your money's creating the power, and you can use that tool in a negative way. So that perception of money as being evil is a myth, and it can be actually the opposite depending on how you use it. Just view it as a tool, has no intrinsic value. Use it in the right way, and you can create a very fulfilling life. Especially in the artist creative sphere, there's this notion that you should be a starving artist. You should struggle to pay every bill, and where's your next meal gonna come from? And it's okay to make money from your art. It's okay to make money from what you create. It's okay. In fact, it can help facilitate putting more into the world. Everyone, I believe, should not have the negative stigma of having money. There is one thing I want to talk about, and there was a study done, and I read about this a while back ago, that there's like a Goldilocks zone of how much money creates the most happiness. And we've gone over like too much money, start running into the issues I just discussed about your perspective. Too little, and it's hard to meet your needs. The Goldie zone at that time was like $80,000. Now, depending on where you live, that could seem like a lot. That could seem like, scraping by. But that was in the U.S. That was, I'm not sure the year, so it could be different now. But there's a certain amount where once your your basic needs are met, and you can, kind of take some leisure activities and afford some entertainment or whatever, your health needs are taken care of. More money tends to add stress to your life. Some different problems open up where now like, what do you do now? Your needs are met. You can do pretty much what you want to do with the extra income. What's the next step? Well, humans tend to compare themselves to other people. They want to get what's the next bracket? 100,000. Okay, 200,000. Okay, I want to be a millionaire by the end of the year. And these goals, yeah, they're obtainable, by many people, depending, on your situation. But there's no cap to that. It's just a rat race, and that rat race in and of itself creates stress and unhappiness. The Goldilocks zone is there because those people are often content with their lives at that point. They need to make more money to keep it up, but it's not so much where it's creating the extra stress. Now, on the other end, there's people that are living, a lot of people, and there was another study that was like, okay, most Americans are in debt. I think it was like something crazy, like 80%. Now, that's changed. I believe most Americans were not in debt in the past, so that opens up the potential for the other side of the spectrum, where now it feels like there's this weight on your shoulders where you have to go to work and you have to contribute to your employer. As you know, you have to be at this specific job. You can't pursue your passions necessarily. There's no time. You got to make this money. You got to work overtime. Dual income houses is most people, When you're on the other end of the spectrum, it creates extra stress in that area. So that's why that Goldilocks zone is there. If too little, you're worried about your basic needs. There's not enough time or income to afford the extra entertainments or vacations or de-stressing activities. Time is okay. And here's the other myth: time is money. The reason why that's not necessarily true, because there are ways to, and this is not a financial channel, I'm just trying to get rid of some of the negative stigmas, because I believe people are held back conditioned by what they believe since childhood, like I was most of my life, and still am to a certain degree, and I'm working on that. But it's videos and media and books like that have kind of changed my mind on this. So I hope that happens with this video for you. But what was I saying? There's time is money. There are ways to escape that kind of rat race where you're trading hours for a paycheck, and it's supplemental income where investing, or you put some kind of thing out there that continually makes money while you're not necessarily investing time directly on that. It's not one per one, it's like one, and then over time it's like, okay, a cent here, a cent here, a cent here. It's like it keeps making returns for you without trading in that time. I hope that makes sense. If not, please message me. My email's in the thing, and there are some resources for that. This channel's not that for me. This is not making any income. It's just I want to put forth some things I've learned out there into the world. It's just a way to creatively express myself and hopefully help some people that might have some of the issues that I've been dealing with now or throughout my life. So I hope this helps you. I know I only touched on a few topics, but I think they're important. And if you have any questions or books or references that kind of goes more in depth, I know this was a very light overview of the things about money and the negative stigmas. If you have more questions, let me know, and I can point you in the right direction, because I am by no means an expert, but these are things that are interesting to me. The key thing is just to know those stigmas exist, and they can shape your perception of money, which can negatively impact your life if you let it. On the opposite end, it can positively impact your life if you know it exists. And overcoming those stigmas, you can ultimately live a more happy life, more fulfilling life, by putting that money to work for you in those areas you want. So thank you for watching. I love you guys, and see you next time.